Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I'm your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka the Realist Astrologer, and I am broadcasting from my Zoom account, Zoom video conferencing. This is the platform that I use when I teach my classes, so I just wanted to give you guys sort of like a demo to show you what you can expect if you take some of my classes. So I'm using this platform to discuss Harvey Weinstein's natal chart. So let me share my screen because I created a little PowerPoint presentation. So if you take my class, it will take place via Zoom online conferencing, and there will be an accompanying PowerPoint presentation. So I just created a little PowerPoint presentation to go along with this video. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint. All right. So the title of this video is, or I should say this webinar, is The Astro Profile of a Pervert. So this is Harvey Weinstein's chart. He was born on March 19th, 1952, which makes him a Pisces. Birth time is unknown. So here he is right here. So just the scoop. Here, I got this from the NewYorkTimes.com. This was actually published today. Just 1 second, wrong thing. Just gotta move my, okay. Following allegations of sexual harassment against Harvey Weinstein, the movie and television studio he helped to found swiftly fired him as an employee. On Tuesday, during a meeting convened to affirm that dismissal, Mr. Weinstein resigned from the Weinstein Company's board. Once a top supplier of prestige-minded dramas, the Weinstein Company has been in free fall since investigations by the New York Times and the New Yorker revealed sexual harassment and rape allegations against Harvey Weinstein, going back decades. Over the last week and a half, more than 30 women, now it's up to 50, have come forward publicly with harrowing stories of encounters with him. The police in New York and London have started looking into some claims against Mr. Weinstein, who has denied any allegations of non-consensual sex. So here are some of the women that have come forward. I believe this is Rose McGowan to the left, Angelina Jolie, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Ashley Judd. But there's a lot more. There might be a couple of males too. So here's his natal chart. So I'm going to get into some of the indicators of him being a sexual deviant. So indicators of sexual deviance. Weinstein has Mars at the 18th degree of Scorpio. 18 is a hypersexual number. It is a number of insatiable carnal desires, conflict, aggression, and even violence. 18 is one of the more challenging numbers in terms of numerology. And I also relate that to astrology as well when we're talking about degrees. 18 vibrates to Mars because it breaks down to 9. And that reinforces the sexual energy of Scorpio. So people with Mars and Scorpio, they just have a high sex drive. A lot of people with Mars and Scorpio, sometimes there's exceptions to that rule. But with his Mars being at the 18th degree of Scorpio, that just ups the ante in terms of his sexual desire. His Mars is conjoined to the fixed star Zubin Shamali. That means that he's in a very influential position. And it can point to him using power for sexual favors. Again, take into account that Mars is at the 18th degree of Scorpio, and it can be indication of psychopathy. So basically this can point to, this could be one of the indicators that points to him being a psychopath. His Pluto is at the 19th degree of Leo. 19 is a very positive number. It can make one become very successful in their field. However, it can also increase the passion and sexual desire of Leo because 19 breaks down to 10 and 1, and that is the sun energy, also Leo energy. Mars is in square to Pluto, and that is one of the chief indicators of sexual deviance and sexual transgressions, including sexual assault and rape. He has Saturn in Libra and is opposing Lilith in Aries. So this is Weinstein attempting to make hoes out of the aspiring actresses. This is the casting couch aspect. So I'm sure a lot of my viewers have heard of that term, the casting couch. Also, this deals with him believing that he is entitled to as much sex from these starlets as he can get. It can also point to him being pansexual, where he's like into any kind of sex or whatever, like sexual deviant, lacking self-restraint with respect to sex. South Node at the 29th degree of Leo. That basically makes him very hypersexual, and this goes back to his past lives. The 29th degree in particular brings a sense of desperation, and it is indication of conflict with women. South Node opposition Venus in Pisces, trying to subdue women who are trying to make it in the film industry. His Venus is opposing the asteroid Diana. That could deal with Weinstein being on the hunt for women, because that asteroid Diana deals with either the hunter or the hunted. And his Mercury in Aries opposes the asteroid Hebe. And that can deal with him expecting young handmaidens to service him in exchange for movie roles. So that asteroid Hebe goes back to the myth of Hebe being like a handmaiden, being in service to people in power. So here's a picture of Weinstein with Woody Allen. So this is basically two pervs in a pod, because Woody Allen is a pervert as well. He started molesting his adopted daughter, Soon Yi, I think that's her name, when she was a young teen. And then he ended up marrying her. So, yeah, I guess they're good friends or whatever. They're both, big wigs in the film industry. So, birds of a feather flock together. So here are some of the indicators that he has issues with women. He has Moon conjunct Chiron in Capricorn. That deals with him believing he should be the exception to the rule due to his status. And this can deal with him causing emotional wounds to women. Also, his Moon is opposition Uranus. That could deal with objectification of women, also perversion. His Moon is in square to Saturn. That deals with him lacking respect for women. It could deal with him being an opportunist where women are concerned, an exploiter, and basically a devil. Then he has a T-square between the Moon, Chiron, Saturn, and Uranus, and that basically brings it all together, and that points to his sexual deviant nature with respect to the women that come under his tutelage or that want to be part of his films. His sun may be at the 29th degree of Pisces if he was born after 11 a.m. or around 11 a.m., and that 29th degree can result in issues with women. His Pisces sun is unaspected, which means that he was able to get away with this shit for years. And it says he's been doing this for decades. It can also cause him to lack self-control, self-restraint. His ego and sexual desires are out of control. And a dark side of Pisces can be a total sleaze. They can be sneaky, shady, and have issues with addictions. The scandal coming to light. So some indicators that point to this scandal coming to light are his North Node in Aquarius opposes Pandora. That's that asteroid that deals with basically a bunch of ills or evils being locked away in a box. And then when somebody comes along and opens the box, all the evils and ills start spilling out. Or it can deal with all the salacious stories start spilling out, which is exactly what's happening with Weinstein. So this is all the tales of sexual transgressions coming out in the media. There have been a number of women who have come forward to tell their stories. Now it's up to 50. Also, he has Saturn square Uranus. That's Weinstein's fall from grace, losing his job, reputation is damaged, truth comes to light. Scandal coming to light via the transits. Weinstein currently has transiting Pluto and square to his Mercury. That could deal with dirt being uncovered in the media, via the media. Also, his transiting Neptune is quincunx his Saturn. That could point to a scandal that results in him losing his job. It can result in his downfall, his loss of his lofty status. Also, his transiting North Node in Leo is approaching conjunction to his natal Pluto, and that could be dealing with him facing criminal charges, could be a rape charge in the near future. And the authorities are starting to investigate some of these allegations. Now, I pulled a card to point to describe Weinstein's character, and I got the Eight of Cups. So that Eight of Cups is a Pisces card, so that goes right along with his Piscean sun and Venus in Pisces. And that points to him being basically out there. He's not normal. He's odd. He's strange. He expects to basically live his life according to his own wishes, where he doesn't have to follow the rules. That could deal with him being lost in fantasy. That could deal with him having a sex addiction. And it could also deal with him basically dealing with psychosis, like he's cuckoo, like he's not all there. That Eight of Cups card is a card that deals with a lack of realism. It could deal with getting lost in fantasy and also operating behind the scenes, being sneaky, being shady. I'm basically describing all the negative manifestations of the Eight of Cups card. And that can also deal with the film industry because, like I said, that's a Pisces card. So basically, if you could see this figure in the Eight of Cups, he's walking and he's walking towards a mountain. And this right here is showing that this is a solar eclipse that's going on, which can point to malevolent events, malicious intent, misfortune, problems, deception. So yeah, this to me, this Eight of Cups card basically exemplifies him to a T. Basically, he's nutty, he's crazy, and he's just, you know, drowning in his own addictions and whatever. And now his karma is going to come back to haunt him. So it seems like he might have pissed somebody off in the industry for all this news to come out now, being as though it's been decades of him sexually harassing women and possibly raping women. So yeah, he is definitely a pervert. It's evident in his chart. So that concludes my little webinar or my little Zoom conferencing reading on Harvey Weinstein. So let me know what you think in the comments section. When that transiting North Node lands on his Pluto, he very well may be facing some rape charges. So let's stay tuned. Peace and many blessings. Gotta close this out. Stop share. Oh, and also while I'm closing this out, if you would like a reading, you could go to my website at rabina.com. Peace and many blessings.